Education disciplines that is concerned with method of teaching and learning in schools or school-like environment as opposed to various non-formal and informal means of specializations, development projects and education through parent-child relationships. Education can be taught of as the transmission of the value and accumulated knowledge of a society. In this sense, it is equivalent to what social scientists term socialization or inculturation. Children, whether conceived among new Guinea tribes people, the Riensis, Florentines, or the middle class of Manhattan, are born without culture. Education is designed to guide them in learning a culture, molding their behavior in the ways of authority and directing them toward their eventual role in society. In the most primitive cultures, there is often little formal learning, little of what one would ordinarily call school or class or teacher. Instead, the entire environment and all activities and frequently viewed as school and classes, and may or all adults act as teacher as societies grow more complex. However, the quantity of knowledge to be passed on from one generation to next become more than any person can now, and hence they must evolve more selective and efficient means of cultural transmission. The outcome is formal education, the school, and the specialist called the teacher. As society become ever more complex and schools become ever more initialized, educational experience become less directly related to daily life, less a matter of showing and learning in the context of the workday world, and more abstractive from practice, more a matter of distilling, telling, and learning things out of context. This concentration of learning in a formal atmosphere allows children to learn far more of their culture than they are able to do merely observing and imitating. As society gradually attached more and more importance to education, it also tries to formulate the overall objectives, contents, organization, and strategy of education. Literature become laden with advice on the rearing of the younger generation. In short, they develop philosophies and theories of education. The articles discuss the history of education, tracing the evolution of the formal teaching of knowledge and skill from prehistoric and ancient time to the present, and considering the various philosophies that have inspired the resulting system. Other aspects of education are treated in a number of articles. For a treatment of education as disciplines, including educational organizations, teaching methods, and the function and training of teachers. See teaching pedagogy and Teacher education. For a description of education in various specialized fields, see historiography, legal education, medical education, science, history of. For an analysis of education, regional philosophy, see education philosophy for an examination of some of more important aids in education and their dis- dissemination of knowledge. Dictionary, encyclopedia, library, museum, painting, publishing, history of. Some restrictions of pupil art attribute see intelligence, human learning, theory, theory, physiological education in primitive and early civilized culture. The term education can be applied to primitive cultures only on the sense of inculturation, which is the process of cultural transmission. Sense of inculturation, which is the process of cultural transmission of primitive person whose culture in the totality of the universe has a relatively fixed sense of cultural continuity and timelessness. The model of life is relative, static, and absolute, and it is transmitted from one generation to another with little deviation. As for prehistoric education, it can only be inferred from educational practice in surviving primitive cultures. The purpose of primitive education is thus to guide children to become good member of their tribe or band. There is marked emphasis upon training for citizenship because primitive people are highly concerned with the growth of individuals and as tribal memory and the thorough comprehension of their way of life during passage from puberty to prosperity. Because of the variety in countless thousands of primitive cultures, it is difficult to describe any standard and uniform characteristic of primitive education. Nevertheless, certain things and practiced commonly within cultures, children actually participate in the social process of adult activities and their participatory learning is based upon what the American anthropologist Margaret Mead called empathy, identification, and imitations. Primitive children before reaching puberty learning by doing and observing basic technical practices. Their teachers are not stranger but rather than immediate community.